Hey y'all. What's
Hey,
up? What's up?
buddy.
What's up? Oh my God. Anyway, let me start by saying I'm Jamie
And I'm Sonia.
and we are
Why?
why?
Because we
Because we
said so.
said so. Man, let me tell y'all. So yesterday, y'all know we get all our stuff from social media. That's nothing new. That's what we
Yep.
discussed.
Yep.
And yesterday I put on there about oh my God,
Graduation.
about this graduation. I'm just in shock by you people. I'm here to tell you right now, I'm in shock. Anyway, go ahead, Sonia. Tell
Okay. So
the
I'm
people.
going to read. This is a text message exchange between a man and his wife. And I'm going to read this text message exchange. And this is what's happening about her graduation versus his daughter's graduation. It's not her daughter.
Correct.
And so this is her texting him. So, babe, I'm gonna read these in like voices. So, because I think I'm an actress, so I'm gonna read these in voices so you'll know who. So, this is my female voice. This is my voice. So, babe, this is the dress I ordered for graduation. Do you think you have something that will match it? Dang, that looks good, Mama. But we gotta talk about your graduation. What's up? You must not like the restaurant my parents and I picked. I want y'all to hold on to that. The restaurant my parents and I picked. I mean, I don't. You should have been planning that with me anyway. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I'm going to Cardi's graduation. Excuse me. Man, her mama just oh, sorry. Man, her mama just told me the date. And it's the same as yours. Baby, listen. I'ma make that up to you, I swear. So you're choosing your daughter's pre-K graduation over me getting my master's, Jalen? You're joking with me right now. Dead ain't, mama. Just be the bigger person and we'll celebrate later. I'm your wife, and it's literally effing pre-K. That's not even a big achievement. And I've been working towards a double master's for you to be dismissive of my hard work. Jalen, that's crazy ASF. So that's how it goes. She has been working on her double masters, and she feels like he has been dismissive of her double masters because he's
As
going
she
to his
should.
daughters.
As she should. That's ridiculous. Just like somebody, I can't think of who said it on my page. That's a participation ribbon. Pre-K what? Man, bye. You know how hard that girl worked to get her degree? Let me tell you something. I get, oh, it's a picture opportunity for the baby. Get over it. Let me tell you something. You better be at my graduation. We're going to have a problem. I'm getting my master's. Are you kidding me? This isn't a game. I worked hard. The stuff that girl had to go through to being a wife, probably being a mom, who knows? I don't know if she has any children, probably working, and then getting her degree for you to tell me, oh, you know what? I can't do it because my daughter's graduating from pre-K. Guess what? After my graduation, run over there and play games with her, do whatever you want to do, reenact it, whatever. You better be at my graduation. I could not believe the amount of people that was like, well, that's his daughter.
Well, I actually agree.
I don't, I know
I
a lot
do.
of people
But let
agree.
me tell you why. I believe that first of all, and this is why I did say listen to what I said when I said the restaurant that she picked out with her mother and her father. She already knew when her graduation was. She made plans to go to a restaurant with her mother and father, did not include him in any of this. The only time she did say something to him was she had picked out a dress. So
Not
she
true.
already knew. But she
Not
already
true.
knew. So why would you not, if it's so important that he be there, why is the whole process of your graduation not important enough for him to be there? And this is something that somebody else pointed out. She thinks it's important enough for her parents to be at her graduation. Why is it not important for the little girl's parents to be at her graduation?
Then they should have stayed together. Let me tell
No,
you,
you can't say that. They're not
when you
together.
have, let me tell you,
We're not
when you
talking
don't,
as if they're together. They're not together.
when
Like
you
you told
can't,
that person on your post, he can only pick one or the other. He can't shoot over to one and shoot over to the other. He has to pick one. So in this one, we
right,
can't change the circumstances. They're
no,
not
no,
together.
right. I'm not changing it.
Oh,
After her graduation, he can go over there. He can't go to two graduations at the same time. Let
no.
me tell you, he already knew when her graduation was. The mother of the child didn't tell him when the child's graduation was.
He didn't know when to do it when the mom's graduation was until
Yes,
she.
he
Well,
did.
he did know.
He
He
never
did
said
know.
that.
Let me take that back. He did know because he did stay with her once he found out about the daughters. But what I'm saying is she did not include him in the celebration of her graduation.
Because she
She
figured he would
chose
be there. Okay,
no,
after my
but then
graduation.
why would she choose a restaurant with her parents as opposed to her husband? People have kept saying, well, when you go and get married, you're supposed to cling to your wife or you're supposed to cling to your husband. But nobody said anything about the fact that she decided to go to her parents to choose a restaurant. She didn't go to him. So neither one of them are clinging, as people say, to their spouse in these situations.
I don't care about a restaurant. I'm talking about a graduation.
It
I'm
doesn't
not
matter.
talking
It's
about
all
it
equally
does
important
matter.
because they are
Absolutely it
making
matters.
decisions without consulting one another. They're both doing it. Because that man said it himself. He said, oh, we'll talk about that, but you should have consulted with me about that. So obviously that's something that stuck in his head when because he said that to her. When she asked him about the restaurant, he said he didn't like the restaurant. But he said that was something that you should have talked to me about, which she didn't do. She didn't even address that issue. She didn't even go back to it because to her, she was more concerned about her side of how she felt. She never even addressed his feelings when it came to that restaurant after that.
I could give a rat's ass about a restaurant. I'm gonna tell
It
you the
doesn't
honest to God
matter.
truth.
That's how
The
your
fact
spouse
of the matter
felt. That's the
is
way your
that this
spouse felt.
lady is getting her master's degree, and then you talking about a kid that don't even know the ABCs, and you want to sit here and say
Oh
you're gonna
no,
miss my
pre-K, you gotta know your
graduation
ABCs.
because of the fact that she graduating from pre-K. Who gives a rat's behind about a pre-K?
Apparently he
Like I
does.
said, yeah, apparently, and I can promise you this: if it was my husband, it would be held. You would be living over there with the mama and the baby, because you wouldn't be over here where I'm working my butt off trying to do something. We talking about a master's degree and a freaking pre-K degree. That kid will get over it. Kids don't even remember that crap. You remember your pre-K graduation?
I actually do. I actually do. I remember my sons. I remember mine. And see, this is what, like they said, it's not necessarily
Girl.
if the child remembers, it's when you look back and you're showing this child and the child sees that their parents are there. You're showing them that they are important enough for you to be at things in their lives. And it's important to this man because you don't know what is going on with this man as far as with this woman. You don't know what the
Well, it
relationship
has
is
to be a lot because since
with
the
the
mother of the child decided she didn't want to tell him until the last minute.
we
So,
don't know how last minute this is.
well, I mean, pre-K graduations are pre-planned too, right? They don't just
No,
pop
I'm
up and
saying
go, "Oh,
we
we're gonna
don't
have a
know how last
graduation."
minute this is as to far as them having the thing. The mother might
He
have this. We
said
don't
that.
know how
He
far in
said
advance
she
this is.
just told
But
me.
think about it.
He said she just told me.
But
That's
the
what he
lady
said.
just ordered her dress. The lady just ordered her
But
dress. So
you
I'm
would you have
thinking,
to apply for graduation in college, so you
I
definitely know
know.
when it is.
No, I'm
You
saying
definitely
if
know
she
when it
just
is.
ordered her dress, what I'm trying to say is that there's obviously some time between the time that this conversation is going on between them and the graduation, because she's just ordering it.
See,
I'm sure she wants to get her dress in time for her to be able to try this dress on, make sure this dress fits. I'm sure
you
she's
know
not
what?
waiting to the last minute to order her dress.
You know what I tell people, and I'm telling y'all right now, don't get involved in step people situations. Don't do it. It's not even worth it. I'm here to tell you it's not worth it. You go, you put all your time and energy into this crap, and then somebody's going to get hurt. Either the kid's going to get hurt or the wife's going to get hurt. It doesn't sound like the wife was a bad wife per se. I mean, they had plans to go to the graduation. She wanted to match and do all the little cutesy stuff people do. And to be pushed to the side because you need to take a picture with the girl with the paper hat on. I mean, are you kidding me right now? Like, I would never. And I don't encourage. I tell people, don't do it. If it's kids involved, they would have to be totally grown and out of the life. Like, I need to know how you interact with your kids before I even say I do, we date, or anything. I would not. I would not at all. I think that is the most, almost the most toxic relationship, being in a step parent relationship. It's horrible. It is
And
horrible.
it could be depending on how you work that relationship and who has the kids and how those things happen.
Yeah.
So people do have to be very careful because there are going to be situations, and men are going to be in situations where they're always, men have always been told you're not there for your kids, so they're going to be, when they can, there for their kids. So it's going to always be those type of situations. So you do have to weigh whether or not you want to even be involved in those type of
Yeah.
situations very carefully.
Yeah.
So
My recommendation, if someone was to ask me, I would say, honey, no, don't do it. Because it is not, I promise you, in the end, it ain't worth it at all. At all. Because it's
well,
always
some of
this,
them work out great. My dad was who the one we called daddy. He came in. My mama had us, and like I say, to this day, nobody even knew that he was our stepdad till he passed, because he was that one that we called daddy, and he treated us all the same. And we
that was
cried and snotted when he passed away as if he had gave life to every single one of us. He was at everything
something
that
of today.
we did, and it wasn't like we didn't know who our, biological daddy was. We knew that too. So, we were just blessed.
Ain't no way. Let me tell you something. If I was that woman in that situation, it would be a major problem. It has nothing to do, it has everything to do with the particular situation. I would have said, honey, come to my graduation. Soon as they call my name, you can leave and go over to your daughter's stuff. Have at it. But to totally miss my graduation that I've worked my butt off for, for that, I to me, it would not be worth it. It would not work in any relationship I would be in. It wouldn't work at all. Not if I'm the wife, not girlfriend or whatever. We not living together, whatever. Fine. But if we are married in a relationship, I and we no, that wouldn't work for me. That wouldn't work. She's 4 years old. She will survive it. She won't die behind it. And she got plenty of other milestone things to be there. I could see if it was her birthday or something big, that would be the biggest thing. It was her birthday. If it was on the same day as her birthday, then we would sit down and say, okay, you know what, dang, this is messed up. But to say because of a preschool graduation, to me, that's not important enough. I mean, I'm just sorry. It's not important enough. People go to work on preschool graduations, like, oh, I'll see y'all afterwards, but you gonna miss my big day talking about, well, she's graduating from pre-K. Well, go over there and be with them folks. Go have at it. That may be where you
See,
might
this is
want
the
to be.
thing. We say that, but to kids, those are big deals. Like the kids,
Girl,
they
they
do
will survive.
understand that. Kids
The
do
fact that he's not
like you're
there,
like,
it would be a bigger deal if he's not there every night when I'm getting ready to go to bed. So if he's not there every night when I get ready to go to
and
bed, and
that's
that's
why
not a
it's more
big deal,
important for him to
then
be at the
then
special events.
nah, y'all should have made it work then. Y'all
They
should have made it
couldn't make
work.
it work.
Yeah,
Don't
well
and
then
you
don't
can't stay
expect
in a
me to be
toxic
there.
relationship.
Don't expect me to be there at a preschool graduation based on the fact that I can't be there for every other little thing. When she come home from school, is he there when she go to the first day of school? Is
He
he
might
there on the
be.
last day of school? If he's there for all of that, no, he's not, because he probably would have known when the graduation was if he was that involved in the school, because they didn't just spring it up on him. That didn't happen. They didn't just all of a sudden go, oh, by the way, graduation's going to be tomorrow.
Even
They
if he
didn't do that.
goes to the first day of school and the last day of school, he doesn't know. He might go to parent teacher conferences, and
He
the
didn't, because
mama
he would
might
have
not want to
known.
tell him
He
stuff.
would have known. Pre-K, any pre-K school or whatever,
Oh, they
they
don't have
already have
parent
this on the
conference in
schedule.
pre-K.
Huh?
They don't have parent teacher conference in pre-K.
They do. Yes, they
Do
do.
they?
Yes, absolutely. You'll find out soon. You're about to be a first-time grandma. You're going to see. Yes, all that stuff. They have all that stuff. So yes. And you show up and you talk to, they call you and they do all that crazy stuff. My grandson had a pre-K graduation. Absolutely. Absolutely. In 2000, what? He was born 2003, so 2007. Yes, absolutely. They did a whole ceremony. They did the whole little walk across the. It was cute. Get in the car. Let's go home. That was it. It wasn't no, we can ready to go throw a party because he graduated from high school. No, sir, get in the car. Let's go home. Ooh, that was fun. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're missing my masters for that. I'm sorry. Yeah, her and her parents could have gone to the restaurant afterwards. Whatever. This is an important milestone in her life. I guess no one cares that in her life it's an important milestone. I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy. But hey, I'm thankful I did not have any of these experiences in my life. But honey, we wouldn't have never made it to 35 years, because I would have been like, bye bye. Go be who you want to be with. Because it surely would not be James Jackson. I couldn't do it. I could not. I mean, I could
You'd have
not
been
do
Jamie Stone.
that. Huh?
You'd went back to Jamie Stone.
Girl, and two shakes of a tree limb or whatever to say it is, I would have been like, bye bye. I mean, I just think that we need to prioritize some things. And unfortunately, and it does happen. Unfortunately, it fell on the same day. I That's horrible. But the thing is, you could prioritize it. Go let this one, we know how graduations are. College graduations take forever. uh Preschool graduations take 2 seconds. you know so guess what, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that. He could have tried to make it work. The fact that he was like, he didn't even try to make it work. I'm gonna see what I can do, whatever. No, I'm gonna discuss it with you. I just found out she graduating. Sorry, I can't go. Oh, sir, I promise you I'll be celebrating this masters on my own, because your shit's packed in at the door.
I do
That's
think
how.
they should have had more conversation, because
Yeah.
it did seem like, because if you think about it, so like they did not really type, like nobody said what time. They just
Right.
said same day. Nobody
Right.
said so that her the little girls might be at 12 or 10, and then the adults might be at 11 or 12 or
Right.
something like that. So I do think they should have had some more conversation, because it does seem like they should have been able to work it out, because I don't
Right.
think either of these graduations, because so like I'm trying to think, like when I graduate, so I have a master's. I don't think that, like, I think I worked for it, but I don't think I like slaved over it, but I did work for it. And the
Yeah.
only part, so I mine is the MBA. I'm not gonna lie. The part that was very hard for me, because I don't like numbers. Like I've never, like I'm a word person. I can do
Yeah.
word work all day long. But when it comes, and because I had an MBA, I had to do
A lot of
more
numbers.
business classes. And I had to do a lot of numbers, and my actual project that I had to do at the end to even graduate was for me to run my own company, and I had to fake buy stuff and run my production line and all of this kind of stuff. and I had to make my business profitable, and I had to actually like know how many widgets, know how to, how much to pay this person and how many hours to make this person work, and if I needed to do overtime. And it was like a really big project. And
Right.
so that was the worst part for me. But the whole part of it, getting through it, the busy part of it, that was fine.
Yeah.
But when I had to do the statistics and those financial classes, girl.
And imagine your husband, if you were married at that time, saying I can't come. When you say I'm walking across stage. And now some people don't want to graduate, walk across stage. I've had to convince plenty of friends, like, girl, you better go walk across that stage. Are you kidding me? You worked for this. Go do it. So some people don't want to.
And that's
Obviously, it was
true.
important to this lady. It was obviously important to her that it and for her husband to show up is no, is natural. For her to want her husband there is a natural thought
And
process.
I'm in agreement with that. I think that
Yes,
that's why I think that they should have had conversation. I'm not saying I don't think he should have. I can understand his point of wanting to be there for his daughter because
I agree
I
with
know
that.
that that's very important for him. I think it's more important for him than the child, honestly. I think it
Exactly.
was more important for him as a
And
father
I
for him to be there. I do think that. But I do think that him and her should have had some more conversation than what these little text messages that we saw. Because I feel like there should be a way that he should be able to do so. Because he just
exactly.
automatically said,
No.
I'll make it up to you. So that to me saying, you getting ready to be at the party with the ex, you getting ready to spend the whole day
Right.
with the ex family.
And my
So
day means nothing.
right.
That that does not work for me. And like I said all along from the very beginning, figure it out, make it work. If the graduation's at the same time or one staggered, say, the preschool graduation is probably at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. The master's graduation is probably 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Run over there and then say, bye, baby, daddy has to go. You know, she's already disappointed you don't live with her every day. She'll survive. I promise. She won't crumble and die. She'll be okay. Now I'm running over here. Now, in the end, after we done went and had the graduation, and I don't like this restaurant, baby. So I'm gonna run on back over here and visit my daughter, check on her. You can The fact that his whole thing was not happening, no, no, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to show up for you, sir. That's a problem for me. I'm telling you, that is a problem for me. I just can't. I can't handle that. That would never work in my world. It just
I'm
would
getting
not.
ready to go
Not for me.
find your post because before we log off, I do want to read the comments that we got because this is what, and I do because I like this format actually, and I really would like to do this going
I
forward.
knew you was
It,
gonna say when I did this yesterday. I
no,
knew it. I said she's
no.
gonna want
This
to
is the
do this.
funny part. A couple of weeks ago, I had told my sister-in-law Pam, I said I would like for us to go. I said Jamie does this question of the day. I said I would like for us to go to that format where we're doing questions and then we come and then we talk about it. I said because we get more input from individuals
Right.
that way. So I do
Yeah.
like that, and then that way we're more like we're neutral. Because a lot of the stuff we do, we put up stuff, and you could tell, it's based on this race or that race or
Right. Right.
whatever.
Right.
But this is just neutral, and I like
Yeah.
that. I like to be able to do
Right.
that. But I'm gonna go back because I want to read it because you had over 44 comments on there. Yes. So I'm gonna go back to
My
where
God,
we
dear
were.
Lord. So funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody is what. Tell me when you're ready, but I'm gonna talk while you're doing that.
Oh, I'm
Everybody's
ready.
experiences.
Girl, you know
Oh, you got it.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you put it, we y'all know what it's all about. So here's some of the comments. So Dwight was very serious, and he's like, it's funny that most of the women think he should attend the wife graduation. It must be something to it that men believe women will sacrifice their family for their own happiness. As a man, I would attend my daughter's graduation and hope that my wife would want me to. I personally would want the memories of our daughter over that of my wife, and we will get together afterwards and celebrate together. This is what I think most men will do. Now, this was before we put in that it was not her child. He answered first because he thought it was her child. Now, this is what Pat said. I'm going to celebrate my spouse first at all times. Afterwards, we can do a mock graduation with them both in their cap and gown. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's cute.
Sheila said, you should attend the graduation of the person who's getting a master's degree. I personally feel like a pre-K graduation is like a participation ribbon.
Facts.
And then Paulette said, I'd rather him go to his child's graduation. Until that child is an adult, he should prioritize the child and support the child's every milestone. The wife knew he had a child when they got married, and apparently they have not been married long if the child is 4 years old. He can go to the child's graduation and meet up with his wife with the child after the graduation. So many men put their children last and later regret not being there.
Oh, I don't understand. I mean, the not being there, no one said he wasn't there for his child. We just have a
No,
conflict
no,
of
no.
time
She's just
schedule.
saying that that's what
I know,
happened. Yeah.
I know,
That so many
I
men
understand,
said,
but
yeah.
I
But
don't
not she's
think
not
that
saying in this
anyway.
case, but she's saying in general, that's what
Yeah.
happens. So
Mhm.
Sheena said his wife's graduation, while seeing his child walk across the stage is important, it's pre-K. He'll have kindergarten, fifth grade, eighth grade, high school, and maybe even college graduations to attend. His wife getting her master's should outweigh pre-K, no questions asked.
I agree,
See,
Sheena.
actually, you got a lot. I think it's like 50-50.
Yeah, it
Because
was 50. It's
Rose
about
said
50-50.
yeah, that master's is a lot of hard work and dedication. I think it should be the wife's graduation. Pre-K, if they have their little caps and whatnot, take her to the park to do pictures and take her out for a treat. And then Tansy replied to Rose and said, yes, that master is a different kind of beast.
Right.
And then
Exactly.
Ebony said, attend the wife. Pre-K is not a monumental age or stage. The child is 4. They won't even remember that. LOL. And then Erica, now she sounds like you. She says, this is one of the reasons I've never dated anyone with kids. As someone who's child free by choice, I'd rather be with a partner who's on the same page. No blurred lines, no added drama, just mutual understanding
Exactly.
when it comes to priorities. Let's be real.
Yep.
If it were their child together, they would have figured out how to support both milestones. But because it's not her daughter, now it turns into a debate between pre K and master's degree. And that speaks volumes. And then you
Exactly.
said, would you say that again?
Exactly.
And
Yep.
then Kev Purr said, the daughter, of course. Cree Chanel said, I had a 5th grade spelling bee. I won 2nd place. I also didn't tell anyone because I never had a competition before. I felt so alone, even though my classmates and teacher was rooting for me. So know that feeling he got to go with his child since I'm an adult and have other family. So.
Fifth
And
grade
Trace,
and pre-K are two different things.
yeah. But Tracy feels like he should go to his wife's ceremony since it is a big accomplishment.
Tracy who? What Tracy is
Tracy
this?
and Folks,
Oh,
Fulk.
Tracy Ann. Okay,
Yeah.
Tracy folks. Okay.
But she said she went to her son's pre-K yesterday and said the principal started the program, the Pledge of Allegiance. Then he introduced and thanked the high school principal for letting us use the auditorium, and then the 2 teachers plus their student teachers. They sang a couple of little songs. Then they were presented with a certificate individually, and we were told what they wanted to be when they grew up. The whole thing lasted 25 minutes.
Exactly. Exactly. From the moment you walked in the door, 25 minutes.
Yep. And then this one says the wife. And then they would have a little ceremony for the daughter at home. That's Darkita. And
Hmm.
then Tansy said, to me, it's simple. He should attend his wife's graduation and celebrate his daughter afterwards. It's just pre K. She'll do it again the following year. Now, Kathy Shaw said, the daughters, I'm sure the wife has a support system. She has her parents and hopefully friends will attend her graduation. She is hopefully mature enough to understand that while her husband supports her, he cannot physically be there in the moment. On the other hand, even though the child won't remember it later, the impact in the moment of having or not having your parent there when you achieve a milestone will be with her forever. And then Marilyn Jones said his wife. And then Crystal stated from the Bible where it says to leave his family and cleave to his wife. And then Thomas said, I'm going to my wife's graduation. Then he paying
Thank
for a huge celebration at a nice restaurant where attendees of both are welcome. He said he gonna be broke.
you.
And
Thomas who? Which Thomas is that?
Thomas Guyton.
Okay, I know that's right, Thomas.
And then Cheryl Nixon said he most definitely should attend his daughter's graduation and continue to attend everything she proceeds to do until she's an adult. The wife should understand because if it was her child, I think she would attend that graduation. And Angela
That
Grady
is
says we would go to the daughter's graduation. If we're married, then she is my daughter also. And then Robin Johnson said, wife hands down. Then I am Gwenny Scott said he could
winning.
go
Hmm.
to the pre-K in the morning and then go to the other one in the afternoon. And she said hopefully the pre-K has taken a nap. And C. Mitchell said the wives. Mel AST said the wives. Domo
Hmm.
Vance said he would want to see his daughter. Oh, this was before Domo Vance thought
Yeah,
it was their child, so
right.
they wanted to go to
Yeah.
both. And then Chris Metcalf said daughters. Quayne Bryant wanted to do both. So those were, so it was kind of 50-50.
Yeah, it was 50-50. I don't know. I think being a step parent in this day and age is extremely hard. I
Yeah.
think it's extremely hard. I think people put so much on every aspect. And my thing is, if all of this stuff is so important that you got to show up for everything and be there for everything, make it work.
Yeah.
Make it work. That way you can be there at night. You could be there when she wake up in the morning. Make it work.
Hmm.
Because if y'all can get along now, then y'all should be able to get along in the relation. Figure it out. Just figure it
Yep.
out.
Benita said, come to my graduation.
Benita,
Yep.
your sister Benita?
Yeah. She was saying, come to her graduation.
Right.
Brenda
I
said,
agree.
Brenda, not Brenda from South Africa, Brenda Anderson
Yeah.
said daughters.
She said what?
She said daughters. These are
Daughters.
comments from tonight.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, I don't see any pitch
We
any.
we still 50-50.
Yeah, y'all are 50. We are 50-50.
Yep.
But in my mind, I don't see any place where I think that he should. Now,
Well,
please
go ahead and
understand me.
do that in your 30 seconds.
Okay, my 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I I'm not saying don't celebrate your daughter. I'm not saying don't go over there that day. I mean all of that. But I think to diminish a or even to make a compare, I don't know. I think people don't care about the pre-K. I think people just care that it's his daughter. It's his daughter. Daddy needs to show up for his daughter. I think that's all people thinking about. I don't think they care that what the situation is. That daughter wanted him to be there. He needs to be there because y'all say dark daddies don't show up for the daughters. This woman is getting her master's degree. That is not a game. That is not a joke. That is a real life situation. That is a serious commitment to doing, especially as an older person. Now, I don't know how old these people are, but as a person that's over I went to college at 18. You work and you're doing all this to get it. to compare that to I got to show up for, like Tracy said, a 25-minute event, he can go over there later, as far as I'm concerned. That's why I tell people, and I know a lot of people that have stepkids. I mean, we come from a blended family. My daughter has blended children and all of that. And thank God it did not, we didn't have those issues. But I see it more and more and more now on the internet, these issues.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time, I would say, don't even do it. It's not worth it. I mean, and I'm sorry, and that might be mean, and that might be whatever, but I just don't see where it is benefiting the other person for them. I mean, because it's always, well, that's my child, or that's my child. I'm gonna have to do it because it's my child. I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm second. I don't want to be eh, second to anybody. I'm sorry. That's just not how I want to be in a relationship. I'm not going to treat you second. And children have their place in a relationship. I mean, when my husband was here, I treated him first. My kids would, and you can ask my kids, they would say, "Who come first, daddy or us?" And I would be like, "Daddy comes first." So for me to have to switch that up because I'm in a relationship with a stepchild, that would be rough for me. That really would be rough for me. I did it with my own children, so I know doggone well it would be rough to do it with someone else's child, to put it
So
nicely.
my 30 seconds is to always do your best to try to get to support everybody your best way you can. And
I agree.
um when it comes to stepchildren and relationships and things like that, if you enter into that type of a relationship, just know there may be times when there's going to be a decision that needs to be made, and it may not be to your favor, so you might want to be treading carefully when you walk into those situations, so especially if there are young children involved. So
Mhm.
make your decisions wisely, because sometimes, love ain't enough.
Look, baby, did you say that again? Say it again. I want to hear it. I want to hear it, baby. I'm
Woo!
telling you.
So,
Woo. Anyway, God, that was an intense.
yes.
Anyway, yeah, we don't normally disagree, so that was interesting.
Hmm.
I had to shut up and listen a lot.
You silly.
Y'all know I usually been. Johnny was all in on this. She was like, she felt adamant about this. Usually she'd be like, okay, da, da, da. No, this one she was standing on business, baby.
Look, I said it with my whole chest.
All right. Right. Oh my God. Anyway, we thank you all for joining us. If there's any new people here, please, please, please tune in next time. We are always here on Wednesdays. We show up Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Same bat channel. Why?
Because we said
Because we
so.
said so. Peace. I hope to see y'all next week.